Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore. Wait a minute, this music isn't right, the scene isn't right. Hang on. That's more like it. And now it's time to the show for all creatives. Nevermind the Furthermore. Your source for conversation, inspiration, and fun. With your host, Nicholas Anthony Tockert. He's an artist, a writer, a swordsman, and a game designer. He knows how to use the sword and axe in historical battles without anybody getting hurt too much. He's also the Manatee Man, master of marketing. And he may even have a guest or two. One thing, though, to be certain. Just don't call him a cryptid. With that, it's about time for the show. So sit back, enjoy, and have some coffee and chat with us.
Good morning, Nevermorians. I'm your host with the most, Mr. Nicholas Anthony Tockert, coming at you over the airways on WNTF. Nevermind the Furthermore. Nevermind the Furthermore is brought to you with the love and support of our good friends over at the Independent Creator Directory. Your one-stop shop for the best and the brightest authors, artists, and musicians. We're also made possible by sales of the Simple Sword, the Fighting Axe, and the Simple Spear, all part of my ongoing series of Western martial arts manuals designed to help you go from having never handled the sword to teaching the art to others. And, of course, Hates and Hellfire. A dark secret has claimed 2 lives and is hunting an innocent child at the edge of the Appalachian Mountains. Only his aunt, a plucky reporter, her cameraman, and a very odd cat stand against the forces of darkness. And, of course, Library Con. Yes, folks, the triumphant return of Library Con. October 11th, 2025, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Benton County Public Library, 102 North Van Buren Avenue, Fowler, Indiana, 47944. We're open for... it's free to attend, free to vend. We are open for more slots. We have a couple more slots, that is, if people want to fill in. It will involve yours truly, the lovely Amanda Tockert, the incomparable Brian K. Morris, Carl and Donna, as well as Molly Daniels. We're getting the old gang back together, and we're going to get this party started. All righty. Come on out. Meet some great authors, buy some stuff, and there may be a huge table of Nerf guns should the universe allow. Hi. Let me put the banners back up there. Pow. All right, folks. It is Friday. I have a whole lot more to do. I'm in the middle of just an absolute march of busy stuff. Starting tomorrow will be, of course, Library Con. We may, if Xander can handle it, and if I'm physically up to it, be going to Feast of the Hunter's Moon Sunday. Then I have business up north to visit my parents for my dad's birthday. Then we have, if I am checking right, bam, weekend. We have one. Oh, we have a weekend. We have a weekend before. Oh my. Well, that's fun. I think I just found a weekend that I get to do prep time. I think I just looked at the schedule and realized that there's one more weekend than I was planning on. Hallelujah. But that will be spent panicking sometime between now and then. I need to get that printer going, possibly that printer. Pray for me, it's a lot of tech. And make some stuff happen. But, all right. Then that leads us to Halloween, which leads me right into LodgeCon, and then the holiday season. Woo! Okay. Kick the tires and light the fires. I'm going to be banging out art a lot in the near future. Thanks to the couple who made the art stream, I banged out 2 very nice new token cards in my Halloween-themed magic token. And it's a good series. I'm probably going to do some larger pieces due to some of the Mandy is checking print sites and stuff, and I have to try to help with the formatting. Formatting is the bane of my existence. One of these days, when everything is calm, I'm going to take an online class in, formatting, or I'm going to find a good book and I'm going to fix the issues I finally have so I can get my stuff out. Beyond that, I'm sorry, you guys don't know. I don't know if you understand. Finding a week you lost in the calendar because you have been just balls to the walls, to the window, to the walls, just going. It's a feeling. It is an absolute feeling. And oh my gosh. So that's what I've been up to. I hope you guys enjoyed that stream. Expect more of the Techno Mage style streams, meaning expect me when you see me. And we are going to keep going on that route. So my accountability, aside from a random stream that was unexpected, I know I did not do a Nerf stream. I need to do a Nerf stream. I've just been swamped with con prep. So a displaced Nick Knows Nerf will be floating around as they are inclined to do. It's been a lot. And there's a lot going on, so I'm a little mentally scrambled. And I totally did not, get lagged by StreamYard and still hit in to release my stream at a normal time. Of course not. But we have a lot of things we need to do. You have a lot of comments forming, and I might just get back to doing some more art because, like I said, I am that busy. However, as busy as I am, my commissions are open. Reach out. I will gladly take reasonable paid commissions with my usual requirements of you get a little bit of adjustment, but I need to formalize that. That being said, today's plan, what I have done here, it's going to be start pre-packing the car. It's going to be digging through vast quantities of Nerf guns to decide which I can sell, double checking that they are safe, labeled, inventory check, and prep. It may be a 2-vehicle kind of run because that does help on these local guns. Having 2 vehicles is very nice because that means if Xander needs to go get a longer term break, we can. It means if somebody's run out of something, we can without leaving vehicles abandoned. It's a nice setup. And we're just blasting through. I hope you're doing well. Be sure to watch your Halloween movies. Don't hold them off. There are too many great movies to watch, and not enough time to watch them in. So, with that, I think I'm just going to run. Now, I'm going to be once again skipping Joe's ad. Not that Joe has done anything untoward or that there's any offense, but because Joe is revamping the site and he's doing a huge amount of behind the scenes stuff for the Indie CD. I really, really, really hope that you guys can give him the time, because when he comes back, it's going to be fabulous. But since there are going to be people at the convention, I might as well try to promote them a bit.
From author Brian K. Morris comes a tale of irreverent holiday horror, told with much inappropriate humor. Dr. Victor Frankenstein creates the spirit of giving himself. Ho, ho, ho! Santastine, or the post-holiday Prometheus. Available at Amazon.com. Get your copy today.
All right, I have to check the messages. And wait. I saw a comment come and go just now, and I want to make sure I want a chance to see. Okay, I'm skipping ahead for a reason. I'll be popping out right after this. I just wanted to let you know I'm doing great. Hope you all had a lovely morning. Bye-bye. I had reason to be worried about Churro, and they seem to be doing okay. So that is a huge relief off of my chest. I have concerns, and I will deal with them, but because I love that kid. Good morning, Mr. Hollifield. My dad Hollifield, if you don't know, if you're new to the show or you're lurking in the background, Dad Hollifield is an incredible creative, an incredible creator, and somebody who has impressed me since the late 90s. How are you doing, good sir? Hi, Dan, and good morning. Oh, hey, Foxy. That's actually a little early for you. And hey, Trey. Hope you're having a good one. You've been busting your hump. How are you this fine morning? And let's see, Foxy is sitting in the dark trying to wake up. I did not have that problem. My wake up was assisted by Dusty, who desperately wants me to wake up early but not get out of bed. So he will wake me up and then do everything in his power to make me sit there and pet and rustle with him a bit. And some mornings I have more juice than others. But I know the sitting in the dark is a thing. Inigo let us sleep in for nearly half an hour. Impressive. I was awake before sunrise and now overly caffeinated. I have not had any caffeine, and I am feeling it. We haven't had sunrise yet either. Oh, I'm sorry. He's a good alarm clock, though, I bet. I need to find more caffeine. Boring office work is boring. Now, I will not suggest that you randomly shoot your coworkers with Nerf darts. I will not offer to, supply Nerf darts for the purpose of shooting your coworkers, Trelena. I'm just going to say there are options aplenty. I'll give you my allotment. And my boy Botrix. What's up, Botrix? Wow. Habits of a misspent youth that paid attention. Botrix? Anyway. Inigo is now sitting, cleaning his feet. They got wet. Oh, no. A hobo woke me up by screaming in my face for morning purr time. It seems to be across the board. And hello, Kat Rothermel, the amazing, incomparable rock and roll art goddess. How are you doing? What are your plans? Well, I gave basically my plans for the whole month, except for 1 weekend where I will be hunkered down, a hunched, manic creature going, no, I must do this. Making and tinkering and going. And the song about I'm going the distance started running through my head, and that is not a rhythm I can have and do the show. So we're going to keep going. But I usually get squished and loved on. Yes, but what does Indigo do? Indigo. Wow, I can speaketh the English language. Not really. And Trey's greeting Cat. My plans for the weekend depend on weather. Last remnants of Hurricane Priscilla is hitting Utah, of all places. Not surprised. We've been smacked by a couple hurricanes in central Indiana. Explain that one to me. Oh, wait, they don't want to. And good morning, Dawn. How are you, my dear? Dawn, of course, is the mastermind behind her Fashionable Felines, Buddy and Georgette. We pause for the picture to allow Dawn to squeak. I still like the way that came out. Now, and hey, Dawn, and greetings and greetings. I get to work this weekend. Conquet Creek pours are being pushed before winter hits. No! 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 I rebuke it. It is October. It is spooky month. They need to leave your weekends alone. Rebuked! There you go. Somewhere Carl's going, is that screenshot material? Shun the workers. No. The slave drivers. We need to get Trey. See, Joey and Trey need to win the lotto. Probably more than I do. They're much better equipped to spread the money around to good people. And they work their butts off. Whoo, I almost slipped. And yeah, they need to win the lotto because Trey shouldn't have to do that on weekends. Trey should be able to rest and be happy on weekends. Hello to everyone who popped in while I was on another screen paying bills. Hello. Barbarian Majority. Hold on. That's a good name. Barbarian Majority is a good name for that bot. And there's Churro popping in, making my heart swell many sizes. Love you, kiddo. Now, I've been tasked by my wife with an engineering challenge this morning, like I have an abundance of free time. When one retires from outside work, one begins the path of inside work. And oh, Cat, I couldn't have walked. This couldn't be much better. I'm dressing up as a Tootsie Roll later to help my dad and the Knights of Columbus with the fundraiser. Tomorrow, lunch with my in-laws, and Sunday, our doggy will meet. Our doggy will meet one we may adopt. Fingers crossed. Oh. And thank you for bringing my city out because, I saw, dressing up as a Tootsie Roll. My brain went, Tootsie Roll, Tootsie Roll. Anyway, it's not butterfly, it's a Tootsie Roll. Anyway, hi, nice, Dan. Yeah, nice cat. Good luck on the pupper. Yes, indeed. And greetings from Cat to everyone. And have fun, Dan. How you healing, Dawn? Fun time? Cat? Love the Tootsie Roll fundraiser. Yeah, she is something else. And hi, Harshit, 20,000. How are you? Now we need to figure out how to recycle an ornate room screen into a set of shelves before HoloCon. Ornate room screen? I'm thinking you want to get the swing down, fine chain supported, like they look like grill shelves, so that you can fold it up. That way you can still close the screen up, but you could open it and deploy and then put merch on it. Sorry, I was a merchandiser for a while, and every once in a while I get carried by the spirit of merch. The incision is slowly closing up. Looks really good. Just taking its sweet time. Glad you are healing. Be careful, Dawn. Don't overdo it. And yes, so many great folks coming down the pipe. And hi, Churro. Bye, Churro. And it's wonderful, Dawn. Hope the healing continues. Yay, Dawn. Healing takes time. I know that. Glad it's better. Just waking up. No caffeine yet. I have water, and I'm not afraid to drink it. My babies. Barbarian Majority was my band name in high school. Not really, but you could have absolutely gone like 80s New York punk. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, that's problematically hot. Anyway, Nick, I still want to video my solar setup for your easier visualization. I doubt it'll be done. Hey, doing a really good a really good video of a walkthrough of your solar system. Sorry, as soon as I said solar system, I heard the bum, 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 bum. Space, the final frontier. From the world's most English Frenchman. I doubt it'll be done today, however. Carl and Donna are supposed to be absent today. Yes, they both had doctor's appointments. Now, solar system. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to drop an ad real quick because it looks like we're at a good point to do so. And, I didn't put I need to get that back up because it is Leafy Moss and you guys should be sharing and reading each other's work. Now, who gets in? I really want, you know what? Okay, this is a jump, but solar system, Babylon 5.
From the moment Security Chief Michael Fassino heard her lilting voice, he was smitten with the Irish lady in distress. But what's invaded his home station at Caladar? And what's that Irish voice doing in his head?
You can find all of Donna Carlene's books on Lulu.com. Find out more about her on the NDCD page at ndcd.org.
Let's see what we got coming down the pipe. Okay, thank you, Foxy. I missed that. Forgot. Or both. Did two till they weren't here. And then I had an oh yeah. +6. Hi, Indigo. Let's just do this while we're here since you guys are being nice and chill. That means I have some opportunity for some impromptu. Where are my? There they are. Fun drawing time. As I am still behind, and I probably will be for the foreseeable future, lots of streams will include random fun drawing time aspects. Here we go. And we will just drop the cover, and we're into it. Let's see what the comments have to say real quick. Hi, Indigo. He's rolling about and kicked my keyboard. Well, at least he's consistent. Shout out to the lovely and talented Dan Hallfield for the use of his amazing music, which I'm trying to cut into the deeper dives. We're going to put this at about 20 something. There we go. Close enough. That way you have some music to rock out to while I bang out some more artwork. And we're still working on the card format. And let me think about my list real quick. Oh, hi! Chris Walker, morning everyone. Like to throw you some curveballs, hope you adjust. I was supposed to be heading to New Orleans yesterday. Oh no, I hope... Great. I'm sorry about that. My net seemed to have burped just a bit. I'm charging my phone because I need to take it with me. Understand that, and we're sorry that you missed your thing, Chris. I've never been to New Orleans, but I'd kind of like to go. Anyway, right now I'm working on a ongoing series of Halloween-themed magic token cards, just to spookify tables and make stuff nice. I just have to decide what seems like the best idea for this holiday card that needs work. I kind of, because again, it's always, do I want to do yet another elf? So many elves. My decks make so many elves and angels. We already did one vampire. Yeah. Maybe we'll do something a little off scale. I don't know. Let's see what the picture is trying to be. This. Oh, this will be suitably spooky if I do it right. Get back to later. Go on, do. I don't know. We're gonna try and get this working. because what I'm looking to do is something like a marionette for an artifact creature. I don't know. This might not work. This might just be a neat just a neat weird picture. I haven't quite decided yet. But if I can get it to work right, it'll look cool. That's the trick. And I've been playing with anatomy quite a bit lately. I'm rather proud of myself. It's not where it should be, but it's interesting. And I know I'm going to have to shrink way off scale here. Yes, I'm streaming. You guys know that. Let's see what we have here. Chris says, my plans got changed before the event of Wednesday. However, I will try to make the most of my day off and tends to the one task I dread before today ends. Hugs to Chris. In happier news, I do plan on getting stuff accomplished this extended weekend for me. Halicon may be part of my plans. Well, yes. And okay, who owns the ghost that keeps opening my beer fridge? It isn't time for me to beer yet. Yeah. I don't know. It's not one of mine. Although that ghost seems to be haunting lots of people I know right now. So we're going to need you to contain your spirits. But not delicate. There we go. I love designing marionette-based critters because I don't get to do it very often, but I quite like puppetry as a, because Nick needs more hobbies. Beer ghost! Da-da-da-da-da-da! Kimber? Every time I see the name Kimber, I think of the firearms company and I get confused for a second. Now, I'm going to have to resize this, which is okay, because I'm just getting a feel for what this card could be. And it's like there are a couple things that make artifact creatures that this actually could be. It's not the right way to do that. Again, I need to be delicate with it. But New Orleans is an experience, Nick. There's history here, vibrancy of the city is undeniable. There are artists in around Jackson Square that you would enjoy, not to mention the food. New Orleans is something where I've always wanted to go. And I would have to plan it carefully because I'd have to be there when it's not terribly insane, and I'd have to I'd need to set up an actual itinerary, because that would be working way outside of my comfort zone. And yeah, in the off season, I have no desire to be anywhere near New Orleans around either Halloween or Mardi Gras. Nope. And bare minimum would be to see some of the places where NCIS New Orleans was shot. Family and I really liked that show. We've actually rewatched it a couple of times, which is saying something. But I'm also a big Scott Bakula fan because it's Scott Bakula. I don't know. I want to. Family has to have the flat toe so that at least the puppet would stay up. I had thought about going like Frankenstein's creature for this, but a marionette ballerina just seems somehow creepier to me. And Lines of Success is getting closer to republishing. File uploads to Ingram were accepted, and I just need to check the proofs. If all goes to Hoyle, published 10/20. Rock on, Cindy Koepp. I'm very glad to hear that. And while Cindy's here, how's the volume? Anyway, let's take a moment, and we will run her ad. And I will just do that. Sorry, my ads got all moved around, so I have to figure out where they are now. Where did that ad go? No. Let's see. That's not too bad. Let me me just reshape this real quick. And I know, I have to turn the music back on. And I need to turn my little face thing back on so you can see what I am doing, because that's part of the fun. But for me, this is not bad at all. Slightly sucks. I don't know. I don't know if this one's suitably creepy enough. But it's a different concept, and I do love a good concept piece. Oh, I know what's wrong with this. I know what's wrong with this. It should have been a marionette. The marionette aspect is what's getting it, because if I get rid of this, just lose the lines, I can come back here and imply a winding key in her back and make her a little clockwork ballerina. That's what was wrong with the picture. Not the best pose to highlight that. I'd probably do better switching the arms, but we'll see. And then I could, add some scratches and make it, stranger. Perhaps some clockworks. Now we're getting somewhere. Not sure where, but we are certainly getting there. And I am here for that. Okay, cool. I still may have to. Oh, wait, I know. I got this. We're just going to do this. We're going to take this back off. Don't worry about it. The winding key is a good element. The placement was wrong. If I come back here. See, I figure these things out. This is my process. And I hope you guys enjoy the process. I hope you enjoy the way that shenanigans happen. It's just your door ghost leaning in a new door. Possible. LOL. Someone needs awesome news, Cindy. Yeah, we are so happy for Cindy. Made enough at Renaissance Fair to pay for another cover. Not sure I'll wait. Not sure if it will wait for suitable arrangements and get finished, sequel to Lines of Succession, or send out one of the unpublished ones, Remnant to the Stars. See, I would like to see your stuff get out, and you've had such hassle with your different publishers. Our ghosty just likes to steal small things like keys until we get frustrated and get a new set, then the old ones show up again. Woot! Tune into this for now. Gradual importance of cities. Yes, isn't the sound of her ad amazing? Find the rest of them at youtube.com/@NicholasTockert. Yep, and help teach me to be safe. Patreon. Great things are coming to the Historical Fencing Guild as the temperature drops. Creepy cute. That's what I'm going for. I have a whole line of token cards that I'm working that will double as bookmarks. I have class on Friday nights, but they shouldn't keep you at bay. Hey, no worries. You can catch it in the reruns. Thank you, Foxy. I'm still in a funk. I'm functional. Well, it's going to happen. And quite welcome. I know those curveballs can suck. They really can. Definitely want to visit New Orleans in cooler weather. Yeah, I'm not good with heat. You can find my books at amazon.com/store/Mr. Nicholas Anthony Tockert. And Chris, your funk is to be expected. It is. You have all the support in the world from us, Chris. Take this. Go here. This is the part I've been Like, there are two things that spoil me about digital art versus traditional. One of them is the transformations. And the other is the undo button. So where I want that, I mean, it's coming out real well, but I don't know if I like the placement. I'm just going to do this and do this. No, I hope my artwork is improving. A lot of times it's hard for me to see my growth, which is part of why I like to televise my broadcast, my live stream, my art, because it gives me a chance to keep a level of accountability, not only with my my doing of the art, which is, totally valid, but with my my progress. I have to ask, how are your sales? Do your sales through the publisher, Cindy, really warrant the amount of hassle that they're giving you? Because I'm rather fond of asking, is the juice worth the squeeze? And honestly, between what I've seen from you and what I've heard from Dan Hollifield, I don't know if I'd trust any of the publishers to go elsewhere. And yeah, honestly, cutting and running, especially with Raul's talent. I just want to say his name is Raul. It's just that's how it rolls for me. No offense is intended, but I really think you'd be better served going indie with at least a few titles and seeing how that goes. Because if the publishers are going to mistreat you, why on God's green earth would you want them involved? I think this would be a good artifact creature. So let's add another layer, and let's see. My publisher is trying to find an editor for me so we can get 3 new books out in which Tom Darby makes cameo appearances. They'll give me 6 books out, and I can concentrate on another that's different. I would like to see that, because that's just what happened with you is beyond it's inconceivable that they would keep one of your books as long as they have and not do anything with it. And honestly, I think you should have told them to take a flying leap, but I'm not merciful. Not really, but for A&E firing the publisher might have a negative effect on Raoul in Denver. Okay. But I don't plan on doing any more projects with that publisher. He's a nice human, but a terrible businessman. And maybe that may be the case. No new projects for them, and just move on with the rest of your stuff, because I don't think you have an exclusivity clause. As I drop my stones. You're not locked into some kind of contract beyond that material. Classic Quest Fantasy, totally out of my will. Oh, that'll be fun. Oh, seriously, yeah. Foxy's right. That'll be fun, Dan. Okay. Foxy. It's amazing. Let's see, did I actually? Okay, delete it. It's amazing how much easier this stuff works when you actually use the right ink on the right layer. We used to talk about George all the time. The fact that Thesis says immortalize him. I don't know if he knows how much that means to me. I'm sure he does. I am absolutely sure he does. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. I still want to look one piecey, but the shape was not doing what I wanted it to do. I'm gonna have to fight it a bit. Time lapse. I think, did I already do it or did I not? I didn't. Okay, so what we'll do is I need to redo that anyway. I will put a time lapse out starting from the blues, which is fine. It's an inking time lapse. And I do need to turn music on for you guys. Because this can get kind of dull, because there are moments where to draw, I have to stare in silence at the page. Let's see. Go ahead. There we go. Magic Monsters. I love the characters, especially Cat Princess in the Bear. Oh, see, that sounds adorable. I broke my own workflow. That's the problem. There we go. Now we're back to where we need to be. There are very distinct reasons why I have to be careful with this hairstyle, and I don't care to go into them, but I think you who are paying attention will realize and understand its relative importance. And yeah, this looks like it's going to work. Because who doesn't love a little bit of Pinocchio versus let's see. No exclusivity contract, so once Animal I-7 is loose in the world, I'm moving on with other stuff. Excellent. Well, break has ended. Catch up. It was great hearing from you, Cindy. Sounds fun, Dan. Need to refill my water. Be back. Have a good weekend, Cindy. I'm always going to love fantasy stuff. It's funny that of the books I have published, indeed, mind you, because yay, I haven't really done a traditional fantasy, but given the amount of RPG stuff I have done and written, I think that's where most of my fantasy writing lives. Yeah, this is going to work. This is going to work. It's going to be good. It's going to be messed up. But, you know, I kind of like the aspects of the mechanical that's just being put here. There we go. I'm gonna have to work on that. I think I need to go bigger. And I have to pan out to get that line to be as straight as I want. Oh, check out David Eddings if you love fantasy. Absolutely. Always looking for a quality suggestion. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to get this done in time for the stream to be its expected length. It may run a little late. I don't know. And I may be late for Nevermind the Furthermore. Not Nevermind the Furthermore. I'm on Nevermind the Furthermore. For the Historical Fencing Guild, because I will be going in early. Well, after the library closes, I will be going in to set up to run the convention. So, you know, that means we like to go in the day before and set up the set up our tables so that whenever we're doing things, we can work everyone else's tables in. If that makes sense, which I'm sure it does, because it's something we do, and I'm a fairly sensible person when it comes to certain things. Yeah, I really do need to fix that. That's going to drive me wrong. Apply her other screwy ear here. There we go. There we are. But we're getting there. I love how music box music can be both the most cuddly and the most terrifying music, depending on the setting. I didn't think I got that squared like I like it, but I can fix that. Not that way, though. Well, I could fix it that way, but that could cause problems later. I need the hard eraser, not the soft eraser for this part. There we go. I don't know about you guys, but I find if I can't get what I want out of the situation, sometimes the best thing to do is fix it yourself. Can't find conventions that work with your schedule? Run your own. You know, can't find a game system you like, make your own. It's all just a matter of finding out and figuring out what works for you and doing that. trying to keep myself to a specific style that's just a notch off where I usually live is proving trying difficult. But it happens. Let's see what we got. David Eddings, start with Pawn of Prophecy, Foxy. I read that as Prawn of Prophecy. It makes it a very different book, I bet. The dialogue is wonderful, even gets better when you go further in the series. Add to note page. Sounds like my mention New Orleans might have gotten to your subconscious. The one prawn that makes... I can see it now. The one prawn that makes an unforgettable dish in New Orleans history. My page of notes, yes. Yeesh. No one but me could figure out half the stuff. Yep. Yes, that's exactly where I'm going. The Battle Angel, Alita Battle Angel is a classic, and yes, it does need more. It was very good. Unfortunately, James Cameron has to make, 50 Avatar movies. Which I will confess, I have never seen the first Avatar to completion. I started watching it, and it did not hit the mood I was in at the time because of when it came out. So I need to give it a shot. But I really did like Alita Battle Angel, and I was rather fond of the manga and the anime as well. But thank you guys for indulging me in letting me get my assorted work done. Alright, proportions are way off, but we'll worry about it later. I can do some fixing to get basically where I need to be. And I may redesign her little hair things. But I kind of like to think that they're almost chisel-shaped legs. So that when she spins doing like ballet, they slice up her bones. Nothing like a possibly psychotic. I do this. I do that. Gives me room for a little bit more evil. Let me plant some evil into her. A little bit more intimidation. Which can be done. So that is that piece. I'm gonna have to fix that. Fix that line because there we go. Look. By having the implied ability to rotate at all these points, it's going to get really weird really fast. Well, and see, that's my problem with Avatar. It really, one, I love a good mecha. And I realized the mecha was just going to be buried. And two, while I will agree with a message, I don't often like it hammered into my face in a movie, especially when I'm in the mood, for something. I don't know. Escapist. Have to offset the hip actuators too. For them to work right. Somebody is up and working. I am so glad I'm not having to animate what this character would be able to do with all these spins and things. It could get real, just flat up problematic. I need to do, after I get done with this series, I need to do some much larger pieces of generic fantasy. Because if I don't do the generic fantasy stuff, it won't sell. That needs to be up there. That's stuff there. There. Be a lot of closing lines, I see. It's going to be one of those. Do like this instead. There we go. Eventually I'm going to have to come back over her and put like war runes and things to make it just a little more magic and a little less tech. It's all coming, but what's that backstroke? There we go. We're getting there. Terminator has more important than yeah, I can see that too. Well, right now, I'm a firm believer in the best thing we can do for a lot of things is keep track of when the organized economic blackout days are and just boycott the heck out of things. I mean, if we don't like what's going on, the best thing we can do with AI, the best thing we can do with some of the politics going on is simply refuse to buy, refuse to spend more money than we need to. On one level, it's just sensible because things are getting rough, and on another level, it's just a good idea to remind the powers that be that they control a great many things, but not fully our purse strings yet. And if we're going to have to deal with an oligarchy, why not hit them where they actually hurt? Their wallets. The less we spend on, big budget things, the more it frees us to spend on small businesses. Well, see, what's going to happen is we want Asimov's laws of robotics, but other countries aren't going to do that. They just flat out aren't. And I'm pretty sure the big companies are going to say a bunch of things about safety, but it won't really, privacy won't really be a thing. So I don't know. I am very wary on such things. Anything that is heavily promoted as, hey, this is really nice, and they keep it really cheap, I get nervous about, because that means they really want you to buy it. If they really want you to buy something that hard, it's probably not in your best interest to do so. And I hate to say it like that, but it's really true. Yeah, I think I am going to keep the key though, but I'm going to come over here. I think the key is actually too small. I want to play with the scale on that. Give me just a second. Some people think Asimov's laws are part of physics instead of programming. Exactly. Yes, they absolutely. On that one, if we're going to talk this sort of thing, I am incredibly concerned about all digital money. Because if there's all digital money, and this one really applies to anybody who has read what they wanted to do, what they are trying to do with Project 2025, digital money makes something like Handmaid's Tale much more possible. Because they can already, during an investigation, shut your funds off. Thank you. And it's one way. That is something I find basically terrifying. Because if they can do it for a good reason, quote unquote, they can do it for a bad reason. And all those shapes were garbage. All those shapes were garbage. We're just gonna admit the garbageness of those shapes and start. You know what? Let's just try this. I have a tool for that. Let's go here. Oh wait, I have it geared to ellipse. Gotta remember how. I undo that. Yeah, that's cool. Should be able to do something. I do something fairly comparable. Rotate it a bit. There we go. That's about as AI as I get. I have generated one picture in AI because I honestly didn't know what the system was asking for, and it was in Paint. And I was so excited that Paint now has basic layers. Oops, whole thing got fun. But I do want to remind folks that when things get weird technologically, we have to remember not to blame the AI itself, because one thing that has served the powers that be, whoever's in charge, etc., has been the division. And AI would make a wonderful person for us to be mad at instead of the people making it happen. Because they've always used either another country or people who look different than the majority, or believe different, to blame all the world's sins on. And it really feels to me like a case of, but what if it's just rich people sucking? And that just seems like it's a lot more sensible a reasoning than a lot of what I hear. Let's see. Do this. Okay. Big stretch again. Sorry, guys. Need one. I've been doing a lot of art lately, but I've really been hoofing it. Oh, poor. Yeah, first do no harm. Yes. Oh, I hope so. Oh, no, you're fine. This isn't a dark path. This is just discussing the truth. No one's... There's nothing wrong with looking at reality and being analytical. It's when we let it consume us. I mean, I'm sitting here drawing... a wind-up marionette artifact creature, but really tempted to just give a knife to, because all I have to do to change this is like a knife. Well, but yeah, it's a totally different knife. And it's really terrible. I don't want to do that. Let's see. I don't want to mess this up because we do it on the layer. I go here, up here, and I just make it a classic chef's knife. So, wait. Okay, I have to redo that knife, but I like the concept. Yes, yes I do. That's messed up. Perfect. What we're gonna do is erase this. Actually, we'll just lose this whole layer. Bam. We'll come. So I went there. Yeah. Need a little bit of tinkering. Because now's the part where I have to spookify it. Turn into this. Okay. Into more of this situation. Not quite as this, but enough to hold. Right. I forget I can zoom in. I totally forget that I can zoom in sometimes. Now, we go together like Ramalama Ding Dong? Yes. Oh, wow. We had a bunch of comments all looked down. Sorry that Foxy has a bloody nose. And we all want Foxy to get better. We a congregation of philosophers as well as creatives. Absolutely. Get together like Ram. Cheese and pasta. Now my brain is ding dongs. I took philosophy and art class in college. Too bad I don't remember much. I have a textbook somewhere. I think you can. It's almost impossible to do something artistic without it giving away a large part of your philosophy. What you do artistically, even if it's the most basic, silly thing, will eventually imply what you're about. Now, right now, I am doing a 50 series of Magic Book, which is fun. But, my landscapes are very telling about what I value and what I find beautiful. And I think the subtle realization of that is really liberating, because it gives us all a chance towards expanding our self-knowledge. There are few things sadder than an unexamined life. I know I'm paraphrasing somebody, but it's a matter of getting the. There we go. Yeah, and now it's starting to be just a little creepy. But, my brain went and just stopped thinking for a moment, so you'll have to bear with me. It needs something else. Oh, I know what it needs. I know what it needs. If I can do this. No. Relatively freehand. Not bad. There we go. Now she's terrifying because anything that small, that armed. Oh yeah. It's all medication. meditation with a just put yourself into song from Greece, Gone Forever. Hate math. I don't hate math, I hate the way it's presented. They teach it poorly. I used to despise math, but I realized math is part of the closest we will ever get to really functional versions of magic, like reliably functional. Well, see, I've also kind of been on a bit of an arc lately. With working with lights and lighting. That this is a very busy picture compared to a couple of the others, but I can't help but think I kind of like where it's going. So I'm not gonna beat myself up too bad. The candle might have been a bit much. So I may do a second version where I just erase all the extra gobbledygook and see which one I like better. If it does this on a separate layer, would make that super easy. That's okay. But I like this stuff. Okay, you know what? I'm liking that. As bits of line work. Oh, I believe it. They're desperate. Now, see, I had dyscalculic, so the numbers float around, but concepts, mathematical certainty intrigues me, but I believe that math is also heavily gate-kept. Because God forbid we understand that too. Oh, I know it's wrong. That's creepy. Like, it's cool and it's pretty, but it's vaguely creepy and slightly threatening. And unfortunately, that is very often my jam. And it is very different from other things I've drawn. Oh, Chris. I believe students respond well to, oh. She is quite possibly the greatest instructor I've ever seen. Especially for art. It's just phenomenal. I love art, but I was really cursed with a really bad art teacher that could have made me hate it. Instead, she just, supplemented my art supplies greatly, because if she was going to be that much of a pain, I was going to take my revenge. And I did, and I regret nothing on it. I do find that I got to witness both the worst art teacher I ever saw and the best art teacher I ever saw in the same school many years apart. She's just a bit of the line weight thickening. I don't want to do it too much. I want her to still feel relatively light. So it's going to be a balance thing. But I think this is another one. Had to retake the math test 5 times before I could get a score that Valpo University would accept. get my art license, teaching license. It's above the score the state of Indiana accepted. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I like math when I can apply it to something. Woo-hoo. So I would really annoy a lot of my math teachers because I would excel in the story problem. I'd do the process wrong, but get the answer right. Very often. Whereas I normally would do the process right and get the answer wrong in just what I consider theoretical application. The other thing is most math books, the problem is math books are written by people who like math. Which does not help people who don't like math because they like to add, gotcha style arithmetic issues when you're teaching somebody algebra. And I find that infuriating. Oh, man, you are phenomenal. And that's part of the reason why I was so adamant you get the heck out of that system and go somewhere else. Because I watched that system just chew through great students and teachers alike. And it deeply saddened me to see what so many people were reduced to by the way that system was run. And that's without getting into, my time spent at the junior high as a youth. I don't know if I'd want to go back to reunion where I might encounter some of the instructors from there. Because I remember what happened. And it was problematic. But we like how this is going. I want to look at this as a composition because it is a bit busy. And I understand it's a bit busy. Hayasaki teacher for geometry. Math always broke for me around the time you had to start factoring. Oh, I fully understand, and that just speaks to your dedication. Because you were an absolute wonder. But what was going on, and the climate just, it was not auspicious. I have to add some help just to be able to. I want her to actually be paler. But okay, that's a good enough gray. That could be the standard gray, and that can be dark gray. We'll have that fix for now. Okay. But And that's the problem. The environment will do so much to affect somebody's possibility. And yeah, I'm glad you got out of there. Honestly, I'm not. I'm amazed I made it out of there both times in as good a shape as I did. Because I had some pretty unique challenges both times around with that building. And there are some aspects I will, some very positive aspects and some very negative aspects. I will never forget either. But one thing I love is I remember senior year, like 6 weeks before the end of graduation, I suddenly had a counselor asking me all these questions and stuff about what do you want to do when you graduate? And I'd only seen them once or twice to deal with some class issues. I'm like, now's not the time to have asked me this. You should have asked me this, when there was time for me to take classes to facilitate what I wanted to do. But I said, originally I started saying I wanted to be an artist or an author. And they kept hounding me, saying that that's not a practical possibility. You need to really condition yourself to be prepared for the disappointment. But they wouldn't accept that I'm going to college. I'll probably teach, because that was my plan. Well, the plan that was given to me. And then I'll want to be an artist or an author when I'm not doing that. They didn't accept that. They kept telling me, so I ended up telling them I wanted to run Noodle Stands. I also told them I wanted to be Bert from Mary Poppins, and because by that time I was a sarcastic individual, to put it mildly, and the school had made me by that time into a person I didn't want to be. But part of that was I didn't take a lot of flack from people. Oh no! I don't know how long my net was burping out for you guys. I'm sorry. This is one of my joys. And because for a company called Young Rembrandts. And that was actually, it was cool, but it also felt like a multi-level marketing scheme. And she kept scheduling me schools farther and farther apart. And I wasn't going to spend, I mean, the pay was great by hour, but it was a whole thing. Yes, I know a lot of times I get talking and blaring through. But if I ever do things you want to know about, let me know. Who's scared of computers? Let's see. Oh, factory who are terrified of computers. I can understand how that can be. I worked with a lady. It was a neat program, and I got to help a lot of kids. This was many moons ago. But like I said, the scheduling was just not going to work with what I needed to do for my family. But the curriculum was quite solid. Oh, that... Wow, okay, let's go! I'm not even mad about that. I'll explain why I'm so excited. I hit one little gap right here and it flooded, but when it flooded, everything else stayed basically unbothered, which means I did a good job sealing up my lines. This needs to be this color. Oh, wrong layer. And off topic, guys, but if you have funds that you aren't, wisely spending on, say, me or my art, may I cordially suggest that you donate to PBS right now? Because with everything going on, it's they need the help. And PBS is the one the one resource that wasn't trying to sell people things. You just teach kids. It's wonderful, wonderful programming. And just about everything I do is based on skills I learned from PBS. Love to see my resume. Oh, no, my resume I'd have to dig out. It's a weird one. I've been a lot of things. And that's not counting the places that I only worked a couple weeks for that didn't work out. But yeah, let's see. I've worked at RV dealerships. I've done in-home care for special needs folks. I was Chuck E. Cheese for a while. At the same time, I was doing in-home care for special needs folks. Because there were a lot of times where you'd be temporarily laid off while they investigated whatever. And abuse was so rapid, investigations were equally so, that I need to have at least one job. I was a sample guy and a closing cashier. When I was a sample guy, I sold Transylvanian cheeses and other high-end cheeses, amongst other things. It was to a population not really geared for such extravagances, but we made it work. That was for owls. In South Haven. That was the job where I talked somebody out of robbing the store. I literally talked them out of doing something stupid. I'm proud of it. They were cheesed at me because I ended up going to corporate going, we need security cameras or something. It's not safe. But that's another misadventure. I was the back end of a McDonald's. I was essentially a hardware librarian and merchandiser for Home Depot for a while. For a couple weeks, I was an assistant manager of a dish retailer, company that sold fine plates and things. Yeah, I did a lot. And I know I'm forgetting a couple. So many polo shirts over the years. Now, let's see. Do we like our fine pinky friend here? We don't have a colored background for them, so let's do this normal. Let's see. If I fill this in, how does that look? Pretty good. But now I can switch colors around because I'm going to need probably a red. Yeah, red will be a good background if I'm not really planning to use red anywhere. That works. Okay. Now, but yeah, if I look at what most affected me, what most McDonald's. I was the back end of the West. I was the opening back end of the Westville McDonald's until I was hurt at work and crushed under a literal between a half ton and a ton of frozen hamburger because they stacked things wrong. And I got a double hernia and nearly was crushed to death. It did not perhaps go the way I would have liked. Now I have lots of, look at all the lighting I get to play with. I mean, the lighting I get to play with on this is freaking insane. So we get to add another layer. I am running a bit late, aren't I? Wow, I'm nearly 2 hours again. Shoot. But arting, I'm on the clock, and it helps. No, Mark Kistler from The Secret City, Commander Mark, taught me huge amounts of what I of the groundworks of art and teaching, in my opinion. Bob Ross, shop gas horror, and then I'm almost inclined to say The Usual Suspects. Mr. Rogers, LeVar Burton. The surprisingly brilliant and talented folks who made here, this is Fiddle Blood Mode Normal, which you know that's not going to be. Again, it starts being lands and multiplies. Air Rush, probably by 15%. I don't know how to get one here. Let's see, have to draw. Okay, so the light is here, one out here. So that's behind them. So the middle of the shadow should be running something like this, or the course you look up. Yep. And then down. That would be like one extreme angle. A lot of times I got to piece out the shadow. I do it like this. Take everything on this side of it. That should give me a decent shade there. I have spots I have to fix. I may do this. That's one. This is going to be like this. This is going to be like that. around this. That should get there. That is almost completely in shadow. Now we're getting a nice soft base shadow. You like the base shadow? Fix. Where did I see the spots? I saw spots. Okay, I have to come back down to here. Grab that. Did I get it? No, I didn't. Did that time though. Oh, that gap isn't where I thought it was. Oh, it's not erased. Ah. Okay, that works. We're good level. I kind of like it. We can look better. Oh, back to the shadow though. A lot of it's figuring out point of origin of the light and then playing with where it's going. So you're kind of doing all my medical care was treated. I didn't get anything extra. And they kind of, honestly, I think I should have sued the pants off of them for, a dangerous work environment. But it worked out in the end, and I'm not going to complain too much. It just happened, and it's a good story. It's sort of like, I was Chucky. Cheese. The easy step for entertainment, amongst other things. And in doing that job, I had other horror stories. Oh, I have good horror stories. I might tell those sometime. Let's see. Now we're going to do the big shading. Right. I have that. I want this to be that. Yes. I have certain artistic goals I would like to achieve. I don't want to say emulation goals because that sounds kind of terrible, but there are artists whose style I envy and I would like to more toward. Does that make sense? Which neither of them are really being referenced by what I'm doing right now, but they're, Thomas Kincaid, I am always going to be in love with the way he did his lighting, and that should surprise precisely no one. I'd be worried about getting sued if I wrote a book about my experiences. I'm worried that they would try to sue me. It would be the truth, but I'd still get sued for it. So I would have to do things like I was working at a specific burger retailer and not, name names. Do I like it? Yeah, okay. You're getting that. Soft light. And yellow is definitely the color of the day for soft light. I'm going to shrink that. That you see rim lighting because you got I love my rim lighting. It's just something so importantly nice. Got a little bit more lighting. But yeah, I don't know if I could ever actually do that. But it's sort of like I have a lot of. There was a period of time where I was a paranormal consultant, and this was not a paid position, but I considered it a job as much as any of the other jobs I had, where I would go and help people who were having problems with hauntings or whatever. And if possible, at the vast majority of the time, I could debunk them and give some people some peace of mind. Other times, I was not as fortunate and got more interested. Now, because of the nature of these stories, a lot of people wouldn't believe them and would take them as a lie or something like that. Which is fine, because then I can fictionalize them and use them to make good stories. That's where a good bit of Art Tales 1 came from, and where a good bit of the future Art Tales books will come from when I sit down and elect to do more. How do I like that? I'm sorry. I'm having really bad internet. That happens on days when Mandy's home because her phone does more stuff in the background. And sometimes she even watches my stream. Am I satisfied with this? No, because I need the eeriness. Yes. Let's get down to Yep. I want as a separate lighting track. I will have a little glow stuff going on from this down. That's the down. Just sit that sort of bizarre power source right up, do like that. Beautiful, put that just knuckles a little bit. Lower the joints. Yeah, a little bit of control about that. Not a lot. A little bit. Anyway. I will, I tell the stories that I have for the spooky stuff, and I tell fiction, and I tell truth, and I let you guys sort out what's what. It keeps things interesting. And like I said, I am sorry if my audio is breaking up. There we go. Actually, I have to remember how good the green light looks on the sort of gold brass I've been using. Just really has a good effect. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. Because it's very coated. I haven't run a commercial in a while. I'm going to run a commercial, and then I'll probably wrap this up. My show's going late. Okay, what do we want to run? All right. We're getting back into the swing of things, so to speak. I want that locked like that so that I find it later. And what I'm going to do is this. That's coming out well. And then I want to fill in black the frame here because I like the way that looks. And then we're going to go back to the sky, but we're going to select the one with an interior. And actually, you know what? I may just, no, this needs to be green. This probably needs to be, I've been getting mileage out of this red pale and my vermilion pale. Like, I have just been getting mileage out of those colors. Do this like this. So see what I'm doing. Let's see if this works right. I have to think about this because I want the overlap. It has to be controlled. So if I do something like this. And then don't know if I can do this the way I want to do this. Yeah, okay. Let's get a bigger eraser for now. Just to get a better feel for what I'm doing. Now I'm going to shrink it down. I like my images to do strange things like break out of frames. It makes the card things more alive. Go. Now, I need to just grab my marker because my marker is set to be a millipen, which is their version of a technical pen, which means it doesn't have brush sensitivity. Thank you. Well, and it would help if I used the proper color. But that means I can do something a bit like that. Get where I need to be. Oh no, this isn't right because there should be that. There we are. Now, ooh, pop goes the wrist. It's a little unhappy. That's fine. We're going to go here. I think I'm going to go black with it, but I may change my mind. Woof. Okay, cool. I'm in chiller. Now, let's go here. Go. Artifact. Enter. And we'll just do this. Let's see if I have room to do this like I want. It should have been black and it isn't. Okay, wrap that up just a bit. And yeah, this is definitely going to have to be black. The one problem is you can't erase lettering like I'd like. So if I do it this way, well, first let's fix this problem. It will overlap. and be illegible. But if I go boom, that's not bad. That's really actually not that bad. If I go, can I stretch the height a bit? Yes. If I can scooch it even up enough. Yeah, it can. So one time I'm okay with having a tangent. No, I'm not okay with having a tangent. Okay, we're going to do that. Yeah, okay, that works, I think. Yeah, cool. I forgot to sign this guy. Okay, view, rotate, flip, rotate 90. Give me an added normal, and give me my gold pen. I'll just zoom in and sign it here. My pen, please. In like a 5, maybe? Got a little rowdy with that K. There we go. And yes, I will occasionally redo my own signature. There we go. Now, view, reset. How is that? This is the part where I usually see stuff that I should have done. Actually, I do see something I should have done. I'm just not sure how I want to fix it. Still, that's a good looking card. And I think we might just call it there with another 2-hour stream in the can. I think it's time to run my last ad of the day. Oh, actually, I have a couple that I think I have skipped. So let's run some ads. Alrighty. I think this looks like a fine addition to our series. So we will save this as Halloween artifact creature bladed ballerina token 25. Like I said, I have a whole series. If you guys haven't gotten to see some of these guys, and towards the end of the month, I will probably do some kind of show to let you guys see them all. But I will export this to PNG. I may just throw these up as digital files for my Patreon members through the Historical Fencing Guild to be able to download and use for their card games. I don't know. Export time lapse. I can sit and watch the time lapses sometimes. I really need to do just a bulk upload of the rapid time lapses. But I think we have one more ad that has to be run. And then we will just call this. Okay, yeah, one more ad, and then we'll wrap.
Hi, this is Kat. During the school year, I'm Mrs. Rothermel, but otherwise, I'm Rock and Roll Art Goddess, writing about my past and filming the present. I need you to join my Rock and Roll Art army and to check out my merch on Zazzle.com. What started out as journal therapy is now 4 books, I see, and an Instagram account to blow off steam, becoming a book, with another to do the same. A short film for a friend. No, this is not the end. Peace, love, and let me art.
Yep, folks, we're all about letting you art whatever your art is. Oops, I need to get my leafy moss thing up. Whoop, whoop. We're all about letting you create and encouraging joy and perhaps even a bit of escapism through what you do. I hope you go into this weekend and you take time for yourself to create, to express yourself, to expound on the world as you see it, as a way of making it better. Because the world does need what you create. All right? So, guys, thank you for a wonderful chat. Always, Kat. Please keep writing, keep drawing, keep creating, because as long as you do, you can edit it, you can improve it, but you cannot edit a blank page. I love you, and you should too. And I will see you all possibly tonight at 8, barring disaster as I set up for the convention, for Nevermind. I keep trying to add another Nevermind the Furthermore for the Historical Fencing Guild's live stream. I'm scheduled to be back Monday at 10 a.m. for the next episode of Nevermind the Furthermore. Enjoy your reading, guys. Toodles.